Okay, we live now.
All right. What's up, everybody? I'm here with Hotep Jesus, aka Vibe High. For those who actually worked
Oh
together
yeah.
a few years ago. But before I get into that, tell me, Hotep Jesus, where did that name come from?
The name Hotep Jesus, actually it was a hater gave me that name. My voice on Twitter was a lot different than it is now. My voice was, I didn't spend a lot of time on Twitter. I kind of just was studying a lot of spirituality, and when I had something thought provoking to share, I'd bring it to Twitter. So I had almost a very philosophical, prophetic voice to it almost.
I
And
remember
that's
those.
how you remember those days?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's where I was mentally. That's where I was. And we had the Hotep moniker and all of that. So somebody comes to my mentions, he goes, "What do you think you are? Some type of Hotep Jesus?" So I was like, I kind of like that. It's got a ring to it. So I ran with it.
Remember, I told you every time I type in Jesus in Twitter, your name comes up. So,
I
I mean,
love
that's
that.
perfect. That works out.
I love that, man.
And there are people who call me pretentious for having mogul in my name, and I'm like, this dude has Jesus. Like, that's go yell at him.
Yo, I had somebody come at me and they said, "Do you think you're like the Messiah or the chosen one that's gonna save, people?" And you know what I said?
What?
I said, "Yeah." And he didn't like that too much, but I really feel like my sole purpose is to uplift humanity. And I felt like this for off and on my whole life. So I was raised Catholic, I was Christian and all of that. And they used to say, Jesus is gonna come back, and he's gonna come back in another form. And I used to look around and be like, so somebody around here could be Jesus, right? Like one of y'all could be Jesus. And then I'd be like, what if I'm Jesus? You know what I'm saying? I used to think
How
that.
about it?
Yeah, like as a child. And then, it kind of fades, life in its dogmatic ways, it kind of fades. And then 20s, it came back around. And then early 30s, it happened again. So then when the whole Hotep Jesus thing came, I'm just like, oh, this is like divine timing. And, everything's in alignment.
I agree. I mean, I remember when what you were doing, the direction was changing. But yeah, I want to save that later. Hotep Nation. Tell me about that.
Otep Nation is enigmatic. It is something that's never been done before. When you think about traditional Hoteps or the conscious community, with the Moors, the Nuwapians, 5%ers, Nation of Islam, Hebrew Israelites, you're dealing with a lot of dogma. And another thing is, like B.O.B. was talking about, like in order to be woke, you got to be broke. I hated that aspect. I hated the fact that all of our conscious teachers were like, they call them like poor righteous teachers because they were all poor. And it's like, that doesn't, I never sat well with me. I'm like, if they have all this knowledge and enlightenment, it should reflect in their bank account. So when we started the Hotep movement, me and Uncle Hotep, at its inception, we wanted to make economics and finance, not something that people should shy away from. Like in Buddhism, sometimes, they say neglect the body and neglect money and neglect all these things. And it's just like, no, like these things are
Yes,
very
thank you for
real.
not neglecting money. That's kind of important,
Yeah.
especially in our
That's
community. We need to teach more of that.
right. And it's like our biggest problem is poverty. We don't earn. And it's like, yo, let's tackle this beast and let's not be afraid of capitalism and just let's learn it. So I went and self-educated myself on the stock market, finance. I read books, and started teaching it. And then we just implemented into our philosophy. So
That I could
yeah,
tell. I felt like you were definitely sharing all of it on social media as soon as you were learning. I
yeah,
remember
yeah, that's exactly
some
what
of
it
us were sitting
was.
around like, "What's he doing?" Clearly, he's reading. He's reading another book. What's going on there?
Word up.
It was
You know what I mean?
interesting to watch. I'll say that the
Was
transition.
it
Yes,
the different transitions? You saw a lot of my
I
transitions.
did.
You know, um, you knew me from what 2011,
2010.
2010.
That's quite a long time. I don't think it's that many people I feel like I've known that long.
Word. So you've seen my rapper phase, you see my spiritual phase, then my
And in fact,
economic phase.
it's been 3 years I've been a vegetarian. You were the reason why one of the reasons why I chose to be rather. And I
Yeah.
didn't give it that much thought. I remember that you were, and I wanted to be healthier. I think I had a job that was stressing me out like super. It was insane in 2015, and I said, well, I'll try to change what I can. I tried to drop coffee and meat at the same time. Well, you see, I still have coffee. That didn't work. Um, and I remember you talking about being a vegetarian, so I decided to give it a try. And this Sharma and Sunny Johnson, she said, "Are you trying to be a hotep?" And I said, "I didn't think about that. I forgot they're mostly vegetarians." Maybe
Yeah.
unintentionally, I got pulled in that way. I'll
Yeah,
say.
we turned you Hotep. But that was like another phase in mine where I went through that whole, vegan phase and I was teaching health, you know what I mean? And that was because of Left Eye. I was watching that Left Eye
Yeah.
documentary and she said, she went to go see this guy and he cured her of her herpes. I'm like, cured her herpes? They said that's not possible. So I said, who is this man?
Yeah.
So I looked him up. It was Dr. Sebi. So I just was like binge watching Dr. Sebi lectures. And
Wow.
then, me, I had to fact check everything he said. So
Got to
I watched the lecture.
learn that with the media lately. I'm sure.
Yeah. So I watched the lecture, pause it, look it up, be like, oh, this motherfucker right. Press play. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that type of thing. So yeah, it was all those phases. So Hotep is encompassing, a healthier mind, a healthier body, exercise at the very foundation of it all. And then the next level is economics. Make sure your bank account is right so you can support your family and help others and invest in business and grow your community from an economic base. And then the next phase, which we haven't gone into yet, is the uh, spiritual phase or the enlightenment phase, where
Okay.
we talk about the spirit and the soul. Now, we haven't gotten there yet. Slowly easing people into that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be looking forward to that. And look, you mentioned your rapper phase. Yeah, you want to backtrack on that a little bit?
Yeah.
And again, for those who don't know, I met Vibe High here when he was a rapper under the name of Daddy Boston.
Word.
And he ran his site, Poplet, blah, my own site. Def Glam. God, it's been a while. 6 years the site's been out.
Yeah.
So yeah, what made you decide to stop rapping in the
Um,
first place?
you know, rapping for me was a means to an end. It was to kind of get out the rat race. I was doing it for financial purposes. I loved it, but I loved performing more than I loved creating the music. I did love creating the music. I still like writing lyrics. I love creating and writing, which is one of my talents. But I loved performing more than anything. And when I landed the 50 Cent gig, it was like all my money problems disappeared.
Good.
So yeah, so I kind of lost. That was
I
the
just
reason.
watched a video of that before we started. I
Which
happened to
one?
stumble across it. It was a Street King event.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, that you were assuming emceeing for. Don't remember which one.
Yeah, it's probably the
Sometime in
Vegas one.
2012. Yeah, I think it was Vegas.
Yeah. So I was emceeing for 50, New York, Vegas, Chicago. You know what I mean? So I realized what I really wanted to do was I just wanted to be an MC, and I just wanted the mic and to speak to people and connect with people and control the stage and control the crowd. That's really what my talent was, you know. Um,
You got it on
but
your
but
list of talents that you can that you can pull from anytime you want.
my resume,
Yeah,
yeah,
even
hell
if you
yeah,
don't do it anytime soon.
yeah, yeah. Mixtape coming soon.
Yeah. So any possibility of coming back rapping?
Oh yeah, I definitely have ambitions, um, there's certain people blocking that. But I think that once they realize how important it is for me to step back in the booth, I think that it'll happen, you know. Um, but
Because
I
if you weren't
think,
good, I wouldn't have stayed on the site as long as I did. Like after I realized that I was on with a rapper and I heard his music, if it was bad, I would have just left.
yeah,
So I'm just saying, at least I know that you had good material,
you're like,
and
yo,
of
he's
course,
whack. I'm out.
yeah, I hear a lot of stuff every day.
Yeah,
So it was good. Every so often, I do wonder that. I'm like, I wonder if he's going to come back. But yeah, he
word.
should.
So, but when I was with 50, I was a local celebrity. I felt like, I'm not saying that I was a celebrity, but I felt like a local celebrity because I got into any New York City club without standing in line.
That pretty
When
much defines local celebrity. So yeah,
I,
especially New
you
York.
know, were, and then you'd have people like Jack Thriller and Papoose and Fred the Godson, and these people would see me and recognize me and dap me up, and we'd have conversations and we'd kick it. You know what I mean? So,
Important.
you know, I was in VIP, so I kind of got jaded to the whole scene after I see, was behind the scenes. I'm like, this shit ain't really all it's cracked up to be, because
That's
you end
easy
up
to do.
word, you end up uh, getting surrounded by a lot of fake people, and I hate fakeness. Like, it really gets under my skin. Fakeness. People being fake and fraudulent and fronting, and just see everybody coming in and like, just like, yo, stop being fake, yo.
You just define Instagram.
Word. It was like Instagram in real life. You know what I mean? So I was like, man. And then I got depressed. Had all this money and I was depressed.
Always work out that way. They say that money does not solve everyone's problems.
It doesn't,
It's
you
good to be
know.
able to teach people to get there. I've seen that in your Twitter headline about, to contact you to make a certain amount. Which,
Oh
hey,
yeah.
it's actually possible, people. Like, if you can get your social media to a certain point, yeah, that's a totally believable line. So I wanted to co-sign that.
Yeah. $500 to $1,000 is definitely doable a month on social media. Um, you just need a skill, but or a niche. But yeah, so I was depressed because here I reached a level of success, which was a milestone in my life, and had nobody to share it with. You know what I mean? Like, none of my friends that I grew up were there. I was surrounded by strangers in New York City. And I just was just like sitting there like, damn, like, I want to share this experience with my friends, but I'm
Yeah.
sharing it with fake people. But, Demic was there, so I got to share it with him. And that was dope.
Very good. Which
But
was, by the way, people, that was Vibe High's rap partner when he was
yeah,
Eddie Boston.
yeah, we were a group, Demic in Boston. We were a group dynamic duo, and we used to tour coast to coast. You know what I'm saying? I remember uh, Jay Mills from Young Money. He said that he hadn't performed for a crowd of over 1,000 people until he got signed to Young Money. Meanwhile, me and Demic were consistently performing for crowds, you know,
Wow.
of 1,000 at a minimum. You know what I'm
I
saying? At a
think Jay Mills
minimum.
follows me, but yeah, interesting.
Yeah. So I kind of was like, damn, I'm doing better than these signed artists. So that's something else that kind of, got me jaded. And we did a show, Monster Jam, inside a stadium, 20,000 packed crowd. So we did a lot of big
Yeah.
things that a lot of artists didn't accomplish at that level. So when it came to rap, it was just like I did everything I wanted to do with rap. I toured, I landed a job with 50 Cent. I was a local celebrity, so I got to feel what it was like to be a celebrity. I
At
knew what it
least the
felt
end
like.
result of this is better than, say, like, what's his name, Bow Wow. He did an interview recently with the Breakfast Club where he was talking about how he's done everything he wanted to do. He's lapped the world like 8 different times, and he was basically admitting to being suicidal. And people were concerned, asking, "Well, are you actually suicidal?" I know you mentioned naming your album "Suicidal," but
Yeah.
he said that he was. So I mean, I'm at least glad to see that you're with Hotep Nation and not where he is,
Yeah,
or was
yeah.
rather.
Well, that's what led me to the spiritual journey, you know?
You missed that part.
Um,
You might
yeah,
want to share
so
that with him.
right. I think that's what happens, when people don't have that spiritual background or foundation, then you get lost in the mind. And that's what depression is. It's you're basically lost in the mind. The mind is taking control over you. You're not control of the mind. So once my boss gave me this book, The Power of Now. I never read it until I left there. Picked it up and I was like, let me read this. I read it and I'm like, oh wow, this is some good shit. So I started applying that and I started, really diving into the whole spiritual thing. So then I became like the spiritual people on Twitter now. You know what I'm saying? Where you just got us new information, now you're sharing it, and now you're like a spiritual guru.
I
So
remember that. I knew something was happening. I wasn't sure what, but I was sitting and watching.
yeah. So, you're walking through life thinking that you're this ascended master. You know what I mean? But then what happens is you become so detached from reality and detached from people, and you start looking down on people. Then I realized, oh, actually, this isn't the path. This isn't enlightenment. And I had to come down and say that enlightenment or mastery of enlightenment is when you can exist in the physical world and talk about real things like economics and politics and still be spiritual. And I think that's what a lot of people miss when it comes to spirituality. They try to remove politics in their life and all of that stuff, and it's just like, nah, you got to remember to have fun too.
Oh yeah, definitely. You still got to have some fun while we're doing what we're doing. Of course, this is heavy stuff. But so for the website for Def Glam, I know that we covered why you left rap, but why did you choose to stop covering celebrities?
Well, my interest changed, and um that's when I became Hotep. You know what I'm saying? As I like really became Hotep, because I started seeing the destructiveness of celebrity worship, and
That is there.
and I didn't want to perpetuate that. I didn't want to be a part of the problem. So I completely abandoned it and said, I don't want anything to do with this because it's poisoning my people. So I left it alone.
This is very much what Nicole Bitchie did. I'd
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
It's something that
Yeah.
I wrestle with myself. I mean, even when I had created my site after leaving Def Glam, I guess, well, not by choice, but I think I lingered around for maybe near a month, and I wasn't sure what to do. And I met with a friend, and he basically told me to shit or get off the pot. And I was kind of offended, and I said, and I went home and made my site like that very evening.
Mm.
Um, but there's always been the wrestling with trying to have some progression in maturing in what you're doing. Yeah, every now and then it's back and forth. You'll have something that's really good, and then every now and then you might reach down low, but you
Yeah.
know, working on getting there as well.
I
Having a nice
regret it.
having a nice balance. Regret what?
I regret ending Def Glam.
Ending really?
Oh yeah, that shit would be a
Why
cash
so?
cow
For
right now.
having
It'd be so
Yeah,
much
I mean
money flowing through
that's the
there.
only thing. Like that's what I said, and even with Nicole Bitchie, I said you could at least take that audience. If you were to just go completely left field, I mean, people would still be clicking on it, and some might follow. Like I've changed directions of what I've done multiple times, but I said that I wasn't going to up and trash it. I said that I
Yeah.
refuse to throw away years of my life. I've known too many people, and I only started my site because literally everyone that I wrote for tossed their site in the trash, and I said I was sick of being a part of that, and this time I'm not going to get rid of it.
Yeah. A website is a property. You even see it in Google Analytics. It says web property. It's a property. So like when you get rid of a website without monetizing it, it's as if you went out and bought a piece of land, paid for it, built it up, cultivated the land, and then just walked away and let somebody else just inherit it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I did, which was the most foolish business decision I ever made in my life.
It was something I always wondered. I at least get to hear what you hear you admit that. But look, Demick, are you all still in touch?
Yeah, I talk to him all the time.
Oh, nice.
That's
I
that's the
mean,
homie.
the both of you all are doing great. I remember seeing years ago him and these crazy viral memes that he's pushing out like a factory. And, of course, I know that those are things that monetize like crazy. I mean,
Oh yeah, he's monetizing like crazy. He's
I mean,
making paper. You know what I'm
he was,
saying?
like I say, he's cranking them out like a factory. I was watching his, and at one point I was wondering, I said, okay, I know that he was rapping, not exactly sure what he's doing, but there's no way that you can have traffic like that and it not turn into something good. He might revisit rapping later
He's still rapping.
with all of that traffic. Okay,
He's still rapping. That's just bringing in the money though. That's his cash cow.
I'm sure. I mean,
He's,
anything that gets, shared like 5,000 times, of course.
yeah.
I'm in the meme making. I just haven't gotten to that number.
Well, he
It'll
has
have,
a team. He has people he hires and they produce all that stuff.
I could tell.
Yeah,
Good.
it's all outsourced.
Okay.
Yeah, he got a
And
factory going on.
it looks like it.
Hmm.
Just to sit and make like five in a day, like I'm out of ideas
Yeah,
until like three
nah,
days from now.
nah. He's got a system and it works and it's brilliant and it monetizes very well. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I definitely,
So
I only found out about them because it wasn't like I was looking him up. I randomly kept stumbling into them, and I said, "Is this what he's doing these days?" Okay,
yeah, my
I don't have
friend
to
said
wonder
it.
anymore.
He was like, yo, every time I go on Facebook, Demic there, yo. What the? He said I talked to my friend. They like, yo, da 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 da. I'm watching this page, and they show him something. He like, yo, I know him. I know him. But he's like all over the internet. Like you can't
But at
miss him.
first, I was like, I saw Dimmick. I said, "Is that the same Dimmick?" And I do my research, and I said, "Ah, yes.
Yeah,
I'm glad he's still doing great."
yeah, yeah. I always surround myself with greatness, man.
I see. And speaking of which, what would you say is one of your misconceptions of Hotep Jesus that people have out there?
People think I'm a sellout. They think I sold out because I went from teaching all this esoteric spiritual information and Afrocentrism teachings to saying vote Donald Trump in 2020. You know, it's
But I
a
mean, it's not like you came out and started the finger wagging, you stupid black people. Like now, if that started, then I might have to bring you over to the side. But
I
from
did do
what I
some of
could
that.
from what I could see, hey, I'm trying to help here. Uh, what I could see, it looks like it's been pretty genuine. Like it was a genuine evolution.
It was definitely a genuine evolution for me. It's definitely genuine, and I think that
Our paths change. We're allowed to be in different fields. It happens.
yeah, yeah. I think it's because like you know me and you worked with me, so you still see me in my current work.
And I try
You're
not to
like,
just pop off, like look someone up and immediately go off from a tweet. Because myself, I don't like being judged off of, video number one. Meeting someone at an event, and I think I looked at Twitter one day and someone said that I met him and he wasn't, he wasn't what I expected. And I was like, I was tired that day. Really? So yeah, try not to judge immediately. Go
yeah,
do some research before you go call people out of their name.
yeah. You when you got a high profile, you got to keep a certain image up to the people, man.
Right.
Yeah,
I
it
know.
sucks. It
Damn it.
sucks. Oh yeah.
The sellout thing, I mean, by saying who to vote for.
I
I mean,
mean,
but I saw some of your early videos about Trump,
uh huh.
like the one where you said that the country is racist, sexist, all these other things. This is American, so why would you not have a president that represented America? I see what you all
Exactly.
watch on TV and
Right.
elected a reality television president. What are you
Right.
mad about?
Exactly. It doesn't make
That's
any
not
sense.
exactly something a sellout would say. I'm just saying,
Right. Right. Right.
again,
Um, the thing is,
research.
I went through a phase where I was anti-white. Like I was calling white people Neanderthal and uh, melanin recessive gene, the white devil. So I went through my, Nation of Islam,
I
quote
think I might have
unquote
noticed a little
phase.
of that.
Yeah, it
Which
was a very short phase.
I try not to hold people to,
Yeah,
because hey, we have those moments. No one
yeah,
wants to have a year of life that gets dug up for the next 20, 30 years on
right.
social media, as a footnote.
It
So
was it
we're
was
allowed to change.
it was a very short moment because it was like I was spiritual and then mixing it with like Hotep ideology. Because when you sit there, so this is what the problem was. I was brainwashing myself. I was watching like Khalid Muhammad videos like all day and Farrakhan all day. So when you
Okay,
listen to Farrakhan and Khalid all day, you go to bed like white man is the devil. Like this,
you do.
it's just, you know what I mean. So then I realized like, wait, this isn't spiritual. Let me stop watching this shit because I'm becoming like them, and I don't want to be like them. I want to be
This is the
something
reason why
different.
I have Fox and CNN on two different televisions. I usually rotate during the day so
Uh,
that I'm not brainwashed with one network
yeah,
on one
yeah, you gotta
side.
keep. You gotta take
Balance.
this shit in doses. You know what I'm saying? Because the subconscious mind takes everything in. So, when I was, going through that whole phase, it was just too much Khalid Muhammad, way too much Khalid Muhammad. You know, so I just got back into my spiritual shit, and that teaches you, all is one, we're all one soul. So it's just like I can't be judging people by their colors, and I started spreading love, and then that's when I started getting more of a white audience, and then once you get that white audience, so the people that call me sellout are people that are in that phase I was in. In that phase, I probably would call me a sellout too. Because you're just in that mind frame. You see white people, you think if it's a black man standing next to white people, he's a coon, he's a sellout. And it's just not the case when you come out of that mind frame. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And start thinking holistically and dealing with reality and not that dogma and so filled with hate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which I don't even know how people get away with calling anyone these days. On Facebook, you can get suspended for using the word coon.
Can you?
If you're at a point where your account has been flagged enough, and I wrote the word coon once trying to. I was asking a question. Someone else asked, was Kanye West a coon for meeting with Donald Trump, and he didn't get any response. So to be nice, I repeated his question and included his name. I
Mm.
was suspended for 30 days. I came
For
back. Yes, I came back. People asked, why were you suspended? And I said I was suspended for 30 days for using the word coon, and I put an asterisk in it, and I was suspended for another 30 days. So
see
yeah,
on
you
Twitter,
cannot use
on
that word. But on Twitter, of course, you can,
you get verified if you use that word.
yes.
If you're
That
anti-white on
is the
Twitter, you get
word.
verified. So I don't know. It's weird these days. It's politics is just weird these days. Ever since the election and Black Lives Matter, it's like everything got flipped upside down.
I did see that you just admitted to just now coming out as a Trump supporter on Instagram, and
Yeah,
apparently that was a fun process.
yeah. They shut down my account. I got
What?
suspended. Yeah, I got
Really?
suspended. Yeah, my account got shut down, yo. I posted Drag Kid. You know Drag Kid?
um, no.
The little boy who's like 10 years old dressed in
Such a boy.
drag.
I don't think I have seen this. I'm
So if
looking
you
it up.
if you look up Drag Kid, it's this kid, he's 10 years old. His mom had him watching Drag Race since he was 2. So he's like this famous drag queen, but he's 10-year-old. And I'm just like,
Why?
here, yeah, exactly. So that was the first time I ever got flagged on Instagram, right? So
Oh,
I
I
got
think I heard of this, and I remember seeing this, and I refused to watch. I
okay,
don't
you're
even think I
smart.
watched. I finished watching the preview. I said no.
Yeah, it's sickness. So it got flagged. It said we have to remove this because it violates our terms and conditions, guidelines, whatever. All right, fine. I woke up the next day and I was like, your account is suspended. I was like, yo, we took the post down. What happened, yo? But
I'm afraid to do stuff on Instagram. I mean, they're owned by Facebook, and the way that the Facebook has treated me, I do not want to give them any. I don't want to give them any ammunition.
bruh, let me tell you, 4 days after I came out as a Trump supporter, my account got shut down. 4 days. The thing is, you know, my account before
Like
was
suspended, permanently removed.
permanently removed.
The hell? Oh my
I
god!
try. They said like you got to take a picture with this number and then send it back. I did that. I'm just waiting now. So hopefully I get my account back. I don't know, but you know, I built my account based upon like you know like spirituality and the whole 50 Cent crowd. So there's my following is definitely slanted liberal, you know. But so when I came out as Trump and I posted something, like my comments were just people just cursing me out. I can't believe this is you. What happened to you? You changed and just all this stuff. So I'm pretty sure they got together and got me banned.
You're probably right.
So now my new Instagram account is Hotep Jesus 2.
Okay.
The number 2. So
But here's the thing: they're actually not as bad these days. Ever since I guess some of the heads of Facebook went on the news,
mhm.
they've decided to start paying a little more attention to the flagging. They've been flagging me incessantly since before the election, since 2016.
Okay.
And it was to the point that like every so many months, every 3 months or so, I'd be suspended for 30 days. And I would write them and I was like, I didn't do anything, and it would be another 30 days. And in March, I think, they dug up a comment I made in 2015 and suspended me for 30 days.
Yo, that's what is like that's
And I said, "Are you kidding me? That is the most
that's not fair,
thing
yo.
I've ever." 3 years ago, 3 years ago, and I literally quoted. I think there was a preacher who told another pastor, a radio host, to stop riling up all your sissies against. Quoted that, and that was what got me suspended. But that was 2015.
Yeah, it happened to me on Twitter. The 2 words. It was the F word, FAGGOT, and it was.
That's like the only thing I've heard Twitter suspend people before, because people get away with murder on Twitter for the most part these days.
Well, you used to get away with murder.
Yeah.
Now you can't say anything. And then the other word was the R word, retarded. You know, so
oh, come on.
Right. So one day I come online and Twitter hits you with that your account is locked, and then it shows you like these tweets or whatever. It's like delete these tweets. I haven't gotten in trouble
on Twitter in years, so I consider myself lucky.
You are lucky. So it was the F word. So I went and I deleted that tweet. And then I said, you know what? Let me search my name with the F word. So I go and then I find like 30 other tweets. You know what I'm saying? So I see the tweets. I'm like, delete, because you're not going to report me. So then the next week, it was like the R word, retarded. So I'm like, yo, somebody's targeting me. So I went back and I typed the R word in and I removed all instances of that. And then I spent like that whole day thinking of every possible derogatory term that they could possibly suspend me for. And I went back, searched my name with that term, and deleted a whole bunch of tweets. And I haven't had a problem since. But they were trying. I almost lost my account on Twitter because I know if I didn't delete those other tweets, they would have suspended me for you can't change your terms and conditions and then hold me liable from tweets from 2012. Like, I don't think that's fair. It's like this, the Congress has to get involved, man. Trump's got to do something. Yes,
I mean, I agree, and that's the sad part. That's kind of where it is today. That's what people do. They go and, folks, they're up for jobs, and people go dig up 5- and 6-year-old tweets, and usually that tends to be what happens. For those who've been on as long as us, they go dig up stuff from 2009 and 10, and those are the years to get people.
Right. And I don't think that's fair. I think there's something that needs to be done with that. You know what I'm saying?
And see, Facebook is not. I was saying that they are not as bad because now they're paying attention to people. Paying attention in the sense that for the last maybe 3 suspensions that I had, I wrote them back and I said that, nothing happened here. This was a mistake, and they actually apologized to me. They've apologized to me repeatedly, once and twice in the same week. I was suspended,
Wow.
and I said, I didn't do anything here. Please review. And they said, okay. They gave me the account, suspended it again. All this back and forth, but they're at least acknowledging the fact that they're making mistakes.
Yeah. See, that's better than Twitter, man. Twitter gets you out of here. Um, and people say like, why are you aligning with Trump? I'm like, just look at Twitter and how many people have been suspended. That's liberal politics.
It really is.
So it's like I could. So they say, well, you could just be in the center. And I'm like, yeah, I could, but that's not helping any. Like Donald Trump is deliberately opposing PC culture. So it's like, this is the guy that's going to make sure I don't get suspended on Twitter and allow me free speech. Let me support this group because that's exactly what they're for. Free speech, keep my guns. Yes, let's do it. You know what I
I
mean?
agree.
So when people say like, why you lying with Trump? I'm like, yo, just look at how people getting suspended from Twitter. It's unfair. We losing mad rights out here messing with these liberals, man. You can't say anything. And then they say like I'm homophobic, right? And I'm like, yo, if you would have seen my team when I was at Duke, I think I was the only heterosexual male on our team.
Yeah, I think that's true. Yep. I mean, if anything, hey, if it's any consolation, I hardly get along with the community myself. So, whatever.
And that's my thing. It's like, I don't have an issue with gay people. I have an issue with gay politics. And those are two completely different things.
I do too. And, I get picked on. I remember when the Chick-fil-A thing was going on, picked on over that. You can't eat a chicken sandwich. The whole LGBTQ, IAOG, whatever the hell all of that is. I said, look, that is bullying. Trying to make people remember all that, and you want to have an argument with me about, what is it, intersection? I don't even know what that is. You're retarded. Suspend me for that.
Yo, they published a story today that said they want social media to classify hate speech if you misgender someone.
Social media.
Yeah, so like
First
if
of
you
all,
don't call somebody from there.
Now, normal people, you can misgender someone by accident, a straight person.
Yeah.
Just from a bad picture.
Right. But if you misgender a trans person, they're saying that's hate speech. You have to call them by their proper pronouns. And I'm just like, oh my God.
The only time I think that that's appropriate, in my opinion, because I'm a little bit of a policy wonk, maybe in the workplace, in the sense that if it's established that someone is one thing, and it's proven that someone is antagonizing by calling them out of the other name. Because I was really torn on that. Because at first I said, what the fuck? Oh, so we're getting people in trouble because I forgot to say. But I get if they introduce themselves one way and you are just being a dick. You probably deserve to get in trouble.
Yeah.
But social media, for someone that I just came across and just saw their picture one time, no. I really think that's overboard. I mean, especially if I can't tell what they are.
If here's my thing. Even if I know, you come on Twitter, your bio says trans, right? And you look like a female now, but you were once a male.
And some people don't even know what it means. They're like, well, which are you? What am I supposed to say?
You are a man to me, and I'm going to address you as a man. I don't care about your feelings. And that's probably wrong. So,
but if you don't like it, you don't have to interact with it.
Bingo. Person. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I just won't interact with you. But you're not gonna make me say, you have to address me as a woman. No, I don't gotta address you as anything.
Or at all.
Or
especially
at all.
when you choose to insult people.
Correct.
You're kind of opening yourself up for that.
Right.
I'm sure that will accumulate hate mail, but I'm just saying, you come at people sideways, that's what happens.
Yeah.
You get responded to sideways.
I just find it really funny.
And it's the LGBT lobby. I mean, they bully a lot. That's all it is.
Yeah, I find it funny that they claim that straight men are misogynistic and straight men are taking the roles away from women. But here they have men that can switch sexes and become woman of the year. And I'm like, yo, this is a man that just took your spot. You allow that? You know what I'm saying? It's just like,
That's not problematic.
murky waters.
But I mean, these are people in DC who their job is to create these problems for the LGBT community to go out and fix. That's literally what they do. I've worked in a policy group. I've seen them sit in a room. You create a problem, and then your job is to disseminate this problem in white papers across the country for us to all argue about and say that it needs to be fixed.
So you act in DC, you're saying that you'll fabricate, pull out a thin air a problem, and then spread
that's what all of it is. Like these policy groups, that's what they are, and the ACLU is similar. I think that there was an issue recently where the police, an associate I know, had reported a video of, I guess, police violence, and then when you watch the police, the guys are in their face threatening them to hit them and whatnot. They were loitering. And it's like the line between public and private property is just like that. And they're like right on the line, but you're threatening the hell out of the police. Oh, but you want to be all over the news doing press conferences about police abuse after you say, touch me, I'm going to kick your ass.
Yeah.
They said the ACLU disagreed with the police tactics there. I think they actually they set someone undercover with a toy gun there. So they had a reason to go search everyone. I said, because you all sit outside acting an ass every day. That's what you get. And they said the ACLU disagree with the tactics. I said, well, they also disagreed with Trump's travel ban, but you see where that got them. Yes, right. They're full of attorneys, but these are attorneys who also sit around and create problems during the day. I know this from experience. Why I hate that. I have a love-and-hate relationship with the city. That same type of phoniness that you talk about in Hollywood.
So that's why you want a Trump train?
That is why I'm there. Yes, I've been on the other side. I have seen it. It's a lot of money to be made for fabricated issues. Not to mention, most of my friends, everyone wanted me to quit my job, but none of them worked. Everyone lived well, but no one worked. Like they had these make-believe positions. I still don't know. I actually prefer working for my living.
In DC, you're saying that these people they were on payroll, but they weren't actually working.
Yes, in fact, an associate of mine did tell me recently that she was asked to at least come to work, like at least physically show up. Like you have to be here at some point in time for DC government. That is.
Taxpayer money is going to people to just sit around and do nothing.
Yep, I was invited to come work there, and I said, number one, Marion Barry was there. God rest his soul. DC government has never hired intelligent people. They never will. And I refuse to debase myself and be a part of that. I'm sorry. Yes, it could have been a half-decent salary, but no.
Right.
And there's that side, and as I said, the whole policy group side where the people create policy for their own made-up issues and get us all worked up and crying and protesting outside. Even the staffers will sit inside of the meetings and cry after they fly people across the country to come in and tell us about the made-up problem.
That's important information.
It's very important, and people get angry every time I say it. It's a lot of money to be made. I talk about poverty pimping all the time. They make money off of the poor. A lot.
They sit around and protest, and they create the problem. They spread the problem, let people protest, and they make money off of it.
Absolutely, it's a cycle, and then you have the people who follow all along with it. There was a Starbucks that was coming in the hood, and I remember the particular property that it was going to be on. I remember it was open for bidding for proposals back in 2011 at least. So a whole 7 years to discuss what we're going to do with this property. You wait until they get ready to break ground, and people in community meetings crying, yelling. People are climbing the fence outside of the building. The council member scheduled this protest. You might remember the weather machine person we talked about.
Yeah.
Climbing the fence outside of the property, all this carrying on. I said, but where were you for the last 7 years? You're just doing this for attention. Stop it. Making
So
people think you're going to do something about it. You had all this time to do something about it. Why are you waiting now to do this?
wow. 7 years passed, and then right when the place is about to open, he uses that as a political stunt.
Absolutely.
And people wonder why I'm on the Trump train.
Likewise, as imperfect as the guy is.
Like I'll take that all day over this corruption that you're talking about.
Yeah, it does exist, sadly.
Yeah,
I'm sorry for sidetracking. That was what, like a sort of a personal sidetrack. Um,
nah, so good.
so
People
yeah,
needed to hear that though.
in
That was
recapping, we're going to be hearing some rapping from you at some point soon.
yes. I'm gonna drop a mixtape soon. I just gotta get the homies to get behind me, and we're gonna make that happen. There's
I
a
mean, you saw
message.
how
It's the
dug up
message that needs to be said, and I think there's different ways to get a message out. So you could write it, you could create videos, you could do lectures, and then you can rap it. So it's like I want to cover all bases.
I can't
I
wait to
say
hear. The second it
it's
comes
gonna
out,
be
I'll be there to cover it.
it's gonna be a pro Trump song. I want to do a diss the left song. You know what I'm saying? A pro black super Hotep song. You know, I want to cover these different bases, and then of course probably some twerk music.
Yeah, why not? Just just throw that in there. Those
So it
properties Ti just bought up. Sure, one of them's going to be a strip club that you all just talked about on your podcast. It could be played in
Hotep,
there.
yeah,
Twerk
yeah,
music at least.
yeah,
Cover all
absolutely.
bases.
Mhm. Word.
I think that's it for me. Do you have anything else you wanted to?
Um, just want to tell everybody check out Hotep's Been Told You every Thursday at
It's
8
very
p.m.
good, people.
Eastern Standard Time, and tell them about like what you do and where you're at currently.
All right. Yeah, since this guy got rid of his website some 6 years ago, I created popglitz.com. So I have an entertainment site of myself, entertainment site myself, some politics, and I'm on Sunny Johnson's Breitbart podcast. Did she say that? Out every Wednesday morning. So that's pretty much it for me.
And I want you to describe to the people what it was like working with me,
What it was like?
as
Um,
honest as possible.
I didn't. I don't think I had the grief that others did that I recall. I actually enjoyed it. I had probably taken some 4 years at least off of media related stuff, so I had just gotten back into things. I think I was hard headed. I do recall having uh, some shocking headlines that were kind of disturbing to other people.
Yeah.
I saw a couple emails from you asking me to stop it, please, in a nice way. And I think I said on Twitter there were some days of 10 a.m. would come around and you were like, why the fuck is anyone writing? Of which I've said, I've been called many things, but I don't think I've ever done that at 10 in the morning. But other than that, I enjoyed it. It was good.
Word.
I was the last one writing after all, when it all closed. You tweeted me one day and you're like, Vonni, thanks, but it's done. I didn't even notice. Like I was still logging in and writing by myself, just thinking that one day everyone else would just come back.
You still posting vlogs.
Yeah.
I, nah, those are some fun times, man. What was the sentiment from the other workers you think about me? What they think?
Um. That. Oh, didn't you call someone to quit a couple times and you fired him a couple times? I was like, what is going on over here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I definitely fired a cat a couple of times. Word
I
up.
understand. I also understand it's tough. I don't know
I
who was
felt like
worse between the both of us.
I think I was worse back then. I think I had like I was really a asshole back then compared to now. Like now I feel like I'm like super patient and nice, and I feel like back then I was like more of a dictator.
Like I said, I didn't, hey, call me a
You know,
glutton.
I
I'm used to working for difficult people, so
Yeah.
I guess if someone's not yelling, it's probably a concern to me. At
I
least people who act like that, I can read your emotions. I know what's going on. I know how to approach you.
yeah. I used to give you favoritism though, because you had the most followers on our team, and you had the most thorough articles.
So thank
And
you.
you'd always have like the top, I used to have the top like 10 or whatever, top five.
Yeah.
And you were always like one of the top writers. You always had like one of the hottest stories. So I used to like bend the rules for you. Like I wouldn't go as hard on you, and I'd just be screaming at everybody else and shit. Like, what the fuck, yo? Like, where y'all
Okay.
at, yo?
When I came in, I said I was a little bored by. I felt like there was a little vibe of boredom, and I just wanted people to, I wanted to liven things up a little bit. And it's like, Vonni, why did you write that? I said, because you all are boring me. Come on. Did people not click on it? Okay, then. It's
Yeah,
goal accomplished. Same thing today, except I'm not quite as bad.
yeah. It was
Quite as
getting. Yeah, you knew how to get them clicks.
Yes. Hey, it's always been the goal. Okay. Do we not get paid from clicks?
Yeah, we used to do like 1 million hits a month.
Very good.
Yeah, we used to kill it, man.
I'm hovering around.
If I run into a large wad of cash, we might bring the whole team back. Except put everybody on salary, so I got a reason to cut them out.
Okay, I agree. And look, speaking of, you have a book. All that talking about Twitter,
Oh yeah,
like the biggest thing here.
I suck at plugging my own stuff. Let me tell you,
Really?
I suck. I
Yeah, I
never.
think I told you that when I first heard your work and saw your videos. I see a lot of crap, and I said, why don't you promote yourself a little bit more on here,
I
on the
suck at
site?
that.
And you said that that wasn't what your goal was. You didn't want to do that. I
Yeah,
said, okay.
for me, it's always about like the message and getting the message to the people and making sure that they absorb it, and building humanity up, right? So
Right.
I just didn't want to be the guy that comes up. It's like, hey, here's my product. Make sure you buy, and that. So I always forget because I'm just so focused on, what am I going to tell the people? Let me make sure I deliver this message properly.
Right.
Make sure that they have a good time. I'm so worried about the people that come to the stream. Make sure they have a good time. I forget about
Which is
myself.
good.
But yeah, my book is Twitter marketing, how to build a brand online. Books by Brian.com, Brian with a Y. And if coupon code Starbucks. I'm increasing the price. This is the last week I'm going to have it at the low price. This week you can get it, I think, with the coupon code, it's $9. Um, so next week it's going to be higher than that. I don't know, it might be $30. I'm not sure, but I'm not going to change that price because I'm moving on to publishing my next book. So if people want that book, you better get it now.
I bought it, by the way.
What do you think?
I didn't tell you. I'm sorry. It's very good. For
Thanks.
what I have gone through so far, and I have tested some for the little time that I do have. I like it. It was very insightful. Um, I learned, and you did create a great following. I observed as time went by. I tried to see if, is there a little something in there that he didn't tell us that I can recall occurred in the past. But you put a lot of time and energy and effort into creating the following. And I don't quite
Yeah.
know when the hell you wrote the book either. When you had the time to do that, but
I like to make shit look easy, right? So I like to make it look like I'm bullshitting online all day, but it's those spaces in between I'm not online that I'm like,
I know. I
you
tell people the same thing. It's like, when do you not sleep? When am I not tweeting?
right, exactly. So when I'm not tweeting, I'm putting in that work. When I'm not putting that work, I'm tweeting. But the book, I felt like I wanted to, again, the people and giving them value. I wanted to give them everything that I know about Twitter and how I built my following, so that like it would be no competition. Like nobody would have a better Twitter book than me. And I know for a fact there's nobody out there that can teach you Twitter better than I can. Um, so that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to give it like raw and uncut, and the real reason why people follow you on Twitter. Not because oh, I post content 3 days a week, and I post it at 8 p.m. and 8 a.m. and I do podcast. Nah, it's a little bit deeper than that, of just creating content. It's like, what's the psychology behind why people are attracted to you? So I told my own story and all of that, and I wanted to give it to people real for real. And also, I look at it as a challenge. I feel like if I give everybody, if I put everything into this, it's only going to force me to grow, and learn new things for the next volume of work I put out.
Right.
So I'm always going to discover something new. I'm actually writing down an outline to update this book because I got like 7 more pages to add of things I learned about how to grow the following online. So I'm still evolving.
Okay. Second book. Give us a
Second
preview
book.
of what it's about.
Second book is about how a man is in control of a woman and her emotions, how to deal with women, how to pick women up, but more or less so men and women can have a healthy relationship. It's not about, oh, I want to be a pimp and have all these girls. Nah, it's more or less about, like, after you get the woman, how do you keep peace when she's angry and something went wrong? You know what
That's
I'm
really
saying?
important with the whole Me Too movement and the athletes, two people uppercutting their girlfriend and dragging them out of elevators. All
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah.
In fact, that was a little
Yeah,
overdue. You should have covered that back then, but yeah.
I know. So yeah, it's definitely right on time for this. Definitely overdue. You're right.
And you can
So
compete with what's his name, the pundit who also made a book on macking. Like I think that was in the title, the word macking. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah, but see, that's the difference between my book
I mean,
and
it's a clear
those
difference.
books.
I'm saying that you can
Yeah,
compete specifically like with that person.
yeah. My thing is not about macking. It's the art of macking without macking.
Yeah,
You know, damn, that's a good title right there. The art of
it
macking
is.
without macking. I
That's
like
very
that.
good.
But that's always been my thing, like when, people, I was never the type to holler at chicks, I just attracted them. So I'm gonna reveal like secrets of how to attract women and how to keep them around and have a healthy relationship with a woman from my point of view and from my life experience.
I like that. That's a very good one.
Yeah, hell yeah. Let's make peace, man. All love, peace and happiness, man.
And that's in the definition of Hotep, peace.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's what we
Putting
all
those
about.
principles to work.
Yes, that's what it's all about, man. And then we got the Book of Hotep. Um, uh, I got 2 spiritual books I already wrote. I wrote 2 years ago. I
Really?
just haven't published them. Yeah. Um, and then my political book.
Okay. That's
I
one I
got.
can't hear.
I can't wait to drop that one. That one's gonna be like my bestseller. So, but I'm studying
Your
now for
water. Tell us about the water.
the woke water.
Hotep, yes.
Oh, the woke water. I tell the story in my book too. So, the woke water was a marketing hack. Is a dude named Chris that was on our team, and he messed up his tweet. He said something on his food was homemade, but he forgot to put the comma and put water, so it said homemade water. So we started joking about it on Twitter, and it caught fire. I was like, "Yo, what's homemade water?" And we like, "Yo, we got this homemade water. Y'all don't know nothing about it." So it evolved from homemade water to the name being woke water. Uh,
I didn't pay
woke
attention the
water.
whole time, but I did start. I saw when that started, and
Yeah,
I was like, I don't know what's going on here. Um, I'm going to sit and observe.
yeah,
I feel like this is something I can learn from at least.
yeah. So when we were thinking about woke water, it was a question about pricing, and I'm like, "Yo, we should just make it like a stupid high price." So we made the price $125, and it was just we didn't actually intend to sell the water. It was just to make people pay attention to us. So when it first dropped, like everybody was like, "Oh my God, the Hoteps are evil! They're selling water for $125. There's nothing special about this water. These guys are scamming people." And it was just so funny. It's like,
I
no, we're not
almost bought
scamming
it. I
people.
never got around to it, but I did.
If you buy it, you get something really valuable in return. I don't want to say, but it is worth the purchase.
I did read
If you
into it a little bit, so I have an idea.
Yeah, if you do purchase it, whenever you purchase it, take your time. It'll be here, but it's put it like this: it's an investment.
It
It's
is.
an investment, and you can't drink it. You got to hold on to it because like 10 years from now, you're gonna be able to sell it on eBay for like 10 times the price because we only
Last
printed
year
a
we
certain
had
amount.
full conversations about it. Like before I knew what it was, I just remember seeing it and seeing the price, and I said, "So help me if I did that, someone would try and turn me in for some type of fraud. I swear." That's the only way that would end if I were to attempt something like that. But I said, I think you got a shout out on did she say that by me for that?
Yeah,
I said, hey,
yeah,
shout out to them for being able to sell it. Okay.
yeah.
They're
We
doing
sold
it. And it's
we sold 2 bottles too.
okay, nice.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a good look, man. It's a good look. But yeah, it was a marketing hack. It was just a psyop to get attention. And and I explained it in my book and how it worked and how we rolled it out. So that's in there too. And I think people could take something away from it.
Yeah, that was an amazing marketing thing. Like if there's nothing else I paid attention on this site, I said, I don't know what the hell these people just manufactured or conjured up over there for $100. Someone needs to get that and study it, damn it.
Put it through some lab tests.
Yes, like that should have been, I missed making an article on that. What the
Yeah,
fuck is in that bottle?
exactly. Yeah, that's what it's about, man. The thing is, when you market and marketing, you can either pay to reach people or you could come up with great ideas to reach people.
Which is very
And
true. I've spent a lot of money in advertising over the years. So
and
I'm
and,
aware.
and a lot of times the advertising isn't doesn't provide a good ROI, you know. Um not like woke water. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Where woke water was I think it was a $70 investment for us between the label and getting them, made and shipped and all that. So it's a small investment. So you look at that as like I paid $70 for an ad to get people to pay attention to us, and it's something memorable, and people like even today, like you know, Black Twitter was upset because a black girl got her water inside Walmart, and they're like, "Oh my God, black people are privatizing water." You know what I mean? So they were mad about that. So we took advantage and
Oh my God.
yeah, Green King 1300. He started posting pictures of the woke water, like, oh, we got privatized water too. So it's still getting this. It's
I need to see that about the black water. Of all the things to get upset about.
Black water doesn't taste that good, but I heard it's good for you. But I don't know, it tastes like weird. It tastes like sand water. I don't know. It's hard to describe.
Sand water.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, kudos on that water. I
Thanks,
love that
man.
idea. That was really amazing.
But y'all
You could spend
appreciate you doing
$70
this.
on ads, but it will not be as memorable as that at
Yeah.
all.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. But I appreciate this, man. We're gonna come back next time, and I'm gonna interview you, and we're gonna talk about DC.
Okay.
And we're
All
just gonna
right, can't wait.
spill all the beans.
Okay. Very good. It was a pleasure.
All right, man. Take it easy, yo.
All right, you too.
All right.